Welcome to another episode of the For the Love of Cricket podcast with Jim and Akim. Today we will be discussing the game played between Sri Lanka and New Zealand. Sri Lanka batted first, they made 171 all out in 46 overs. New Zealand responded, losing 5 wickets. Sri Lanka recovered from 70 for 5. What is your take on the game?
I think New Zealand got the business done. They needed to get a result from this game in order to advance to the semi-finals. Pakistan can still advance mathematically, but the situation is almost impossible. They would have to win the game in about 7 overs, I believe, so it's very unlikely. New Zealand got in an efficient performance. It was led by very good bowling from Trent Boult at the start of the innings, and then he was followed up by Mitchell Santner, who was very good. Lockie Ferguson was good in the middle, and the young star of the tournament, Ravindra, also bowled a handy spell.
After going 4 games on the trot without taking a wicket in the power play, Trent Boult has gotten 4 wickets in his last 2 games. Does that signal good progression for New Zealand?
It signals a good return to form for him and for the team. As we've said many times on this podcast, wickets in the power play are very important, and the overall performance in the power play is very important in deciding the tide of the game. It's important for New Zealand that he strikes early. His normal new ball partner, Matt Henry, is not in the team, so he has a bit more responsibility inside the power play, so he needs to get the business done for them. And he stepped up in the last 2 games.
Interesting that Sri Lanka stumbled to 70 for 5, and out of that Kusal Perera made 51 of 28 balls. Could you give us a rundown on the Sri Lankan innings?
I think they started off pretty shakily. Tim Southey created 2 chances in his first over. One of them was dropped by the keeper, Tom Latham, but the second one he caught Pathum Nissanka. He was out caught behind. Kusal Mendis has struggled as captain since he stepped into the role after about the 2nd or 3rd game in the tournament, and that form continued in this game. He was out caught by Trent Boult. Samara Wickrama, who is the man who has been in form for Sri Lanka in the middle order, he didn't get many today. He was also dismissed by Boult, caught by Daryl Mitchell down in the slips. Yeah, he was a centurion from the last game as well. So that really put Sri Lanka on the back foot. After that, it was Asalanka who was out LBW by Trent Boult again. And then it brought Mitch Santner into the attack. He picked up some key wickets. He got Angelo Matthews out with a very good ball, I believe. The ball had nice flight, bounce, got some spin, hit Angelo Matthews back shoulder basically, and lobbed to slip. Lockie Ferguson also came on in the middle overs and did some damage, and it was important that he got back into the team, bowled some overs and showed form, because the attackers looked a bit toothless without him. So good signs for New Zealand. They're still missing Matt Henry, but the return of Lockie Ferguson is a very important piece to their jigsaw.
After that collapse in the 9th over, they had lost 5 wickets, and the lower order and the lower middle order brought some respectability to the total. Teek Shana got 38 from 91 deliveries, and number 11 Madhushanka got 19 from 48. Do you like the fight that Sri Lanka showed in the end?
Yeah, it was a good fight showed by them. The lower order batters stuck around and they showed some grit. You never thought that they would have gotten to a score that would have been significant enough to beat New Zealand, but they showed some fight, and it gave the bowlers something, well, it gave themselves something to bowl at. Really, 171, a couple early wickets, you probably never knew what would have happened, but it wasn't the case. New Zealand started strongly in their batting effort, but it was good fight shown, and it was good to see 2 younger players really putting up their hands and digging in for the team cause.
Um, though New Zealand won by 5 wickets, there was some cause for concern towards the end of that chase. They were 86 without loss, and then they ended up losing. For the next 90 runs, they lost 5 wickets. Madhushanka went wicketless this time. He has been very, very good in the tournament. He's the third highest wicket taker. How do you think New Zealand went about that chase? They went about it professionally, in my eyes.
I think they went about it professionally. It was important that they got a good start and they ruled out the possibility of collapsing and nerve setting into the chase by getting a good positive aggressive start. I think Conway and Ravindra were both good. Ravindra has continued his form. He's had an excellent tournament. Conway has been a bit inconsistent as of lately, but he got a decent score here. They lost the first wicket at 86 in the 13th over. Chasing 170, they already got to half of the score, and they were scoring pretty positively. They were scoring at 7+ runs and over. That would have calmed the New Zealand dressing room, and they would have felt like they were basically on their way to winning the game and qualifying for the semis. Kane Williamson came in at 3. He was bowled by Angelo Matthews. Dragged on to him. A fairly soft dismissal, you would say. I think it was probably a bit of change in pace, but the consistency, and Kane Williamson was probably trying to go to square with that delivery. Daryl Mitchell came in and played positively. He got 43 from 31 deliveries. He started out playing a reverse sweep for 4, his very first ball. He looked to play very attacking, and he looked as if he was trying to wrestle New Zealand's net run rate up positively. He wanted to complete the game as quickly as possible. He ended up getting out to the experienced Angelo Matthews as well. Chapman got a promotion. He came to bat at 5, but it also probably showed clear intent from New Zealand. Chapman generally plays as the finisher. He hasn't finished many innings in this tournament, but it was a sign of intent and probably an opportunity for him to get a knock on some confidence. Glenn Phillips and then Tom Latham really came and just finished off the job in a chase that I felt they probably lost too many wickets in, probably 2 wickets too many, but they set about and they got the job done, and it was really mission accomplished.
I thought they sent Chapman at 5 just to, as you say, get a knock in a situation that was void of pressure. He ran himself out. What do you think about that situation?
I think it was good intent from the New Zealand management team. He hasn't produced a lot of runs with the bat in this tournament. He probably got only 1 score of about 30 or 40, I believe. So he would be a bit short on confidence and probably match practice exposure. So it was a good idea to send him there. He got run out. He would have been disappointed. The team would have been disappointed as well. He is probably the one batter in the team that you think there are a few question marks over his place. Tom Latham hasn't been in the very best of form, but he is the wicketkeeper and the vice captain. I don't think they would go to the extremes of dropping Latham, because that would mean having to ask Glenn Phillips to wicket keep, and then they would lose a bowler, a potential off spinner, because they don't have an off spinner with them at the World Cup. So in terms of balance, I don't think that change would be made, but Chapman will probably be feeling the heat a bit.
New Zealand currently sits in 4th place, and there is an extreme mathematical chance that if Pakistan can beat England handsomely, they could be knocked, bumped down to 5th. Given England's form in this World Cup, anything is possible. And knowing Pakistan, anything is possible. If Fakhar Zaman turns up and give us a Fakhar Zaman special, I think England are in trouble. What do you think?
I think England are in trouble, definitely losing the game, but I don't think Pakistan will make it through. I was looking at the requirements for Pakistan to qualify earlier, and I think they would basically have to, if England bat first and post us a total of over 200 or 250, they'd have to win the game in about 10 overs. And then if it's a case of Pakistan batting first and they set a decent total, they would have to bowl England out in about 7 or 8 overs. So it's near impossible.
Extreme mathematical conditions. So the semi-finalists have been decided. India will play New Zealand, South Africa against Australia. You have anything else to add?
No, that's all from me.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks for watching.